morning. Welcome to Bliss Beyond the Buzz with Coach Janet. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Hi, Brenda. Welcome. I'm so excited to have Julie joining us today. Let's get her on camera. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Julie, thank you so much for joining us. People are just popping on now, and
Excellent.
I've been
Thank you for having me.
I've been really looking for. I love your background. Is that real?
This is real. I'm trying not to wake my family up because it's a little bit early here and I have teenagers.
Okay,
So
okay, great.
we'll
Okay,
see if the birds can stay quiet. Otherwise, I can hop inside.
birds if that happens. So that's great. Listen, Julie, I think so many of us are so intrigued by your credentials. Can you tell us what all those wonderful credentials mean? What are you?
Well, I'm decades of being my husband has called me for 20 years the crazy natural lady. So all of this is rooted in holistic and natural health. And to just give a really quick synopsis, I was sick as a kid all the time. I went to a lot of doctors. I was in the hospital here and there. And after all the doctors, say probably around a dozen by the time we were done, and I was never deathly ill. There was no big disease. The final decision was your daughter is sickly and that's all she's ever going to be, right? I was just labeled sickly. And then when I was around 15, we met a massage therapist who also was a master herbalist. And she had me into her house, and it was funny because you walk in and it was full of supplements, herbs and vitamins as far as the eye could see. And she did this weird thing where she sat me down and she started having me hold bottles and pulling on my fingers, and I'm like, all right, this lady is a whack job, right? Well, that whack job cured me.
Wow.
I went on a vitamin and herb regimen for about a year, and we just transformed my gut and we transformed my health. And then all of a sudden I wasn't sickly anymore. Now I was a healthy person. And so that's where my passion for understanding that Western medicine has its place. If I'm a car accident, I don't want a naturopath. I want a surgeon, right? But there's way more to health than disease and symptom management. And so that's where I got into all of this. So I started studying all of this when I was 15. When I was 20, I became a sign language interpreter, and I've worked in medicine as a sign language interpreter for 20 years. So I've been in thousands of doctor's appointments, surgeries, PT. For my continuing education, I take med classes, pre-med classes. I've interpreted anatomy and physiology, I think 4 times now. I love it. It's my jam. And then along the way, I got certifications. I went to the American College of Healthcare Sciences to become a holistic nutrition consultant. I've trained with Dr. Kylie Burton for the functional blood specialist. I've done the 3x4 nutrigenomics DNA training. And those are my 2 things that I'm doing recently. And then I'm also just wrapping up my studies as a traditional doctor of naturopathy from the Genesis School of Natural Health. And a lot of those things, it's not necessarily new information because this stuff has been around for hundreds of years. It's just when you learn a little bit, you learn how much you don't know. And so
Wow.
I'm like, ooh, I want to learn more.
Nice. Wow, I mean, as a nurse, I certainly just love what you have to say here, because I feel like what happens is we go to the doctor and they just give us a pill, right? I mean, it's not what's preventative. What can we do to change our lives? How can we, like, being diagnosed as just sickly? I mean, bye
Yeah,
bye, take a pill.
yeah,
Good
yeah,
luck. Um,
yeah. And they're teaching what they know. They're
right.
teaching what they were taught.
Right, right. So what I guess, I want you to share with us, maybe, give us your biggest passion. Like, what would you want my guests and my followers to do or focus on or
Mhm.
know about this natural medicine path?
Yeah. So the thing I'm seeing just huge success with clients. And I'm a cry. I'll just let you know, when I talk about people getting better, I usually cry. So I'll try to hold it together. But the biggest change I see in people is when I do the blood analysis from a functional perspective. So your blood analysis is going to show you what your lifestyle has done to you for your whole life, right? Your DNA doesn't change. So if a person has a baby, I'm like, get that baby's DNA, their 3x4 test, because now you know what their body is designed for food, for exercise, for recovery, for exercise, and that applies to everybody, baby to 100 years old, right? So this is information we now have. We don't know everything about everything, but what we do know is significant. And why not use a manual or a blueprint if it's available? I'm always a person that follows the map when we're driving somewhere, or opens the manual when we're building something. That's your DNA test. But most people that come to me feel bad, and they've been going to a doctor and they get that, I don't know if you've ever seen that cartoon where the person is slumped on the ground, there's this big range and the doctor is pointing at the very bottom going, look, your results are normal. And they're just a mess. And so normal results don't mean that nothing is wrong. So I like to tell people, trust your gut. If you think something is wrong, it is, period. Because they might have a load of experience with medicine, but you are the most experienced person at being you. So if you feel something's wrong, it is. Now you come and you go, all right, I need to think outside of the box. I need someone that will think outside of the box. And that's what I do with functional blood analysis. Is instead of, let's say, for example, TSH, the thyroid stimulating hormone, which when that test is run, if it falls outside of the normal range, they're going to go, oh, let's put you on a thyroid pill, right? For the rest of your life, you just need it. You have hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, when it's not even your thyroid, it's your pituitary gland that makes that. So why are we not looking up the river for the cause? Why are we going, oh, let's be mad at your thyroid when it didn't even do anything wrong? And instead, what I do is I look at 5 markers for the thyroid, not one. And then even that range, we're not going to look at 0.5 to 5.5. That for your TSH, that's like saying, what's your favorite restaurant between California and New York? No, that's too broad, because there might be, and I'm not even going to go into how ranges are determined, but there's the normal ranges, but then there's an optimal range. So with your TSH, I'm going to look at, probably three, is it 3 to 5? I don't have it in front of me. And I was just going over the metabolic labs with somebody yesterday, and my brain is on metabolic, but it's a smaller range, significantly smaller. So 1.5 to 3? Yes, 1.5 to 3. That's what it is. And if you're outside of that range, then I'm going to keep looking. Okay, are you outside of that range because the range above it is off? Or I can keep going down and I can look at your T4 to T3. Well, if you've got plenty of T4, but you don't have enough T3, again, I'm not going to go, oh, that thyroid, we're going to be mad at it and give it medication. No, I'm going to say T4 converts to T3 in the gut and liver. So if that conversion isn't happening, it has nothing to do with your thyroid. It has everything to do with supporting your gut and your liver.
Wow.
And so that's what we investigate with the functional blood analysis, is what's driving this. And then we look back on other labs you already have, sitting in your portal of your patient portal. You can go through, right? Print them all out. And then I can go over and go, oh, here's a leaky gut marker. Oh, there's another leaky gut marker. Oh, okay, there's a liver stress. Okay, oh, their ASG or ASL, those are off. Their liver is super stressed. Well, now it's making sense why the T4 is not converting to the T3. And so we find those things. And then a person can go and then they can, if they have their naturopath, their person, they can say, I need you to support my liver. I need you to help me with my gut. Or I use several different companies, but the main one I use is Systemic Formulas because they have practitioner only, therapeutic grade, vitamins and herbs and compounds that are all natural. And when I say therapeutic grade, that means they're high dose because I am not looking to put my clients on something for the rest of their life. Here, you have problems, take this forever. Or here, let's take this huge pile of supplements because this symptom can be made better with this supplement. And that symptom, I don't look at the symptoms. I make sure that the symptoms support my finding in the labs, but then I treat the blood. I address the blood work because then the symptoms resolve themselves. And
Wow.
so I will give these therapeutic, and it might be a 3-month protocol. It might be 6 months. The older we are, the closer we get to 12 months. I can basically nip things in the bud by 12 months, no matter how old you are. And then you maintain it with healthy life choices.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm looking at Lee's comment. She's over here just saying, yeah, amen. Go for it. She is totally in agreement. And I think this is exciting news for those of us who, maybe have the normal labs, but then don't quite have the energy or feel that it's, that we're not optimized. Something's not
Right.
completely right. So, and that's, I think, one of the ways that we can help ourselves is to look at our diets. And you mentioned the support, and so I know supplements, I don't know anything about them. I'm that's definitely not my area of expertise. So I'm so glad that there are people like you who know. But even about the healthy and anti-inflammation, no alcohol, and so many things, exercise, moving your body. These are the things that I know, can support a healthy lifestyle. And yet we put that at the back of the burner when it comes to our health. So I think people are going to be anxious to, find out how they can talk to you and learn more about these things. If you could give us like some free tips or some,
Mm-hmm.
takeaway, like what's the best advice, a generalized advice
Yes.
you can give people?
So I'll throw out there that our DNA is 99.9% identical. We're all, so when you're talking, it's the 0.1%. That's our hair color. That's how we look. That's how we methylate our B vitamins, all these things. 0.1%, which that 99.9% then makes it abundantly clear that there are healthy things that we can do that do apply to everybody. There's a whole heck of a lot that doesn't, that is very individualized, but we can throw out some blanket statements. Detoxing is huge. And when I say detoxing, if you're doing something that's like something you drink for a couple days and just run to the bathroom all the time, you're cleaning out your colon, you're not detoxing at a cellular level. So let's just, a true detox is going to have a period of prep. Like I have people prep for at least a month before they start detox. Then it's going to have a binding agent while you're detoxing. Otherwise, it's just going to reabsorb in your body. But for people that that detox is not, and I use the therapeutic herbs and things to assist the body with that detox. But if that's not in your ability to afford or do, what you can do instead is you can just limit exposure. So let's look at our toxins. Try to drink filtered water if you can. I've got my Berkey in there, and let's just not drink in the toxins. The other thing is I explained this to my teenage girls, like every pore that you have, imagine it's like a little Pac-Man mouth, right? These are mouths all over your body. If you wouldn't put it in this mouth, don't put it on your skin.
Wow.
Because it goes straight into your bloodstream. You're not even getting, the filter through your gut, right? It's going right into your bloodstream. And then my big one that people just hate me for, my girls. I mean, my 14-year-old the other day is like, I've never had a childhood. She's not like that all the time. She's great. But it's because I don't allow sugar in my
Oh,
house because sugar is poison and we don't eat poison in moderation. And this is not new information. I mean, my mom read a book on sugar being poison when she was pregnant with my brother, who is 46 years old. I could list you at least 100 books. I could list you 10,000 studies that show that it isn't neutral. There is no moderation. And so what I will tell my girls still, because they still complain about it, even though they're teenagers and I've been hearing it for over a decade, I say, girls, I'm not going to give you meth in moderation. I'm not going to give you sugar in moderation. All it does is harm your body, period. Now, we eat sweets. We use we use maple syrup from my brother's trees. So organic, natural maple syrup. We use raw, local honey, dates. There's all these sweet things, apples, strawberries. You know, when we make a smoothie, we don't add sweeteners because the fruit is literally the sweetener. So there's plenty of sweets in your life. You don't need the manufactured stuff that is it inflammation, autoimmune disorders. I mean, it is wreaking havoc on the gut biome. It is feeding it's not bad bacteria, it's opportunistic. Because your bad gut bacteria, if you've got your levels worked out where you've got plenty of your beneficial bacteria, it actually is a servant. It's like a worker bee that does what the beneficial bacteria tells it to do. It has a job. But then when you're feeding it sugar, then it mutinies and then it stops doing its job and it takes over. And then you have IBS and all these issues that happen. And sugar and refined carbohydrates that just become sugar in our blood, they feed one or the other. You're either hurting your liver or you're supporting your gut with everything that goes in your mouth. So I know that's more than one thing, but I'm clearly very passionate about it all.
very passionate about that. And I tell you, sugar is such a difficult habit to break, first of all. And I mean, our society, I can only imagine your children, because I see it with my grandbabies, and you know, it's even myself, you know, everything has got sugar in
Yeah.
it. And the sweet treats and the celebrations, how in the world do you have a birthday
Yeah.
or celebrate
Yeah.
without sugar? So yeah.
It's not just like culturally accepted, it's culturally pushed. It's a culturally pushed addictive drug.
Wow, that's a strong statement, but I have to say, unfortunately, I agree with you. Yeah, so this is amazing, and I think there's just a wealth of information here that you can share with people. So you mentioned sugar, getting off the sugar, and and what are your other big takeaways?
Your food. Your food is going. You're never going to outwork a bad diet. I'm not a person that I've been teaching fitness for 6 years and doing the nutrition for 15 years. I don't care the size of your body as long as you're healthy. So I will never push that. But I will say excess weight that is beyond what your body's weight set point is, that's a symptom. And
Okay.
so I just go back to uh, address the blood work and the symptoms resolve themselves. And the symptoms will stay resolved when you pour into your nutrition and you're very thoughtful about what you eat. If your grandma, well, let's go back further because we're further along now. If your great grandmother doesn't recognize it, don't eat it.
Ah, what a great tip, Julie. I was thinking the other day, I'm old enough that we grew up right in the sugar when it was all, the TV dinners, and I mean, heck, we
Mm-hmm.
had Pop Tarts and Kool-Aid, right? I mean, that's
Yep,
that's
I'm
what we
there with you.
and it's no wonder we're all sick and have fighting cancer and all the other things that we have. I mean, our systems have been bombarded with sugar, but it is. I'm now starting to realize that as I um, pull away from the sugar, that when I do slip or when I do choose to have the sugar, I don't feel as well. And so it's that Lisa's emotional healing will melt away to
Yes.
well. So,
Yes.
I think it's all a big combination, and I can feel when I eat better, when I'm not eating the pizza or not having the, sweet junk food. I
Hmm.
sleep better. I'm more alert. Less dietary or gut issues, as you said.
Yep. Less brain fog.
Brain fog. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Yeah.
the sugar crash and all the things. So, wow, this is fascinating. See and here,
Yeah.
we try these things, but to have someone come on and actually talk about the scientific piece, or the research that's been done, proving these points, is just so validating. And I know it's something that our society needs, and get this message out. So I really, really appreciate you coming. So what do you think would be the first step if somebody saw this today and said, "Oh my gosh, Julie, I need to do something different"? Well, how can they get in touch with you? Or we'll put your information in the thing,
Yep.
but what kind of like your program, or what do you offer?
Yeah. So my health practice is called Better Than Normal Health. And because of all my normal ranges, we don't want normal. I was actually just typing out a message yesterday where so many here, oh, this is normal because of your age. Oh, this is your joint pain is normal because you're older. Oh, this is normal that you're tired because you have young kids. So no, we don't want normal health. We want better than normal health, right? So that's my private practice. It's Better Than Normal Health. And I am on Facebook and Instagram, and I just started on TikTok. I do not love social media. I'd rather be outside. So you'll see that I'm actually fairly new to putting my practice out there, but I'm trying to post some tips and stuff. And so you can just DM me through social media at Better Than Normal Health. And that's also my website, www.betterthannormalhealth.com. And you can just click on the contact me, shoot me a message and say, I want my blood labs run, and I can talk to you about the programs that I have. I've got a variety of programs. I've got groups that I'm starting because I know that working one-on-one with a specialist is not a cheap endeavor. So a group might work better for some people. So I'm starting to put that together to make it a little bit more accessible. So just reach out to me and I'll work something out with you.
I tell you, that is so true. We talked about traditional medicine and just how we get told, and we even believe ourselves, well, that's just, I'm older, that's how I should feel, I don't have as much energy as I used to. I've seen it with my
Yeah.
alcohol. When I was drinking every morning, I felt a little bit tired or just not quite as good. But then when I quit drinking, it's like, oh my gosh, I've got so much more energy. It wasn't because I was
Yeah.
getting, it wasn't due to menopause, it wasn't due to any of those
Yeah.
reasons that I was giving myself. It was what I was putting in my body. So,
Let me tell you about really quick my dad, who is 68. Um, Bless his heart, he is so willing to be a guinea pig for me. Okay. So they live out of country. So it took me a long time to be able to get the supplements down to where they were. But I had them go and get blood work, and then I had to translate it all from Spanish. All right, this is not the same as reading English labs because they take them differently down there. But I got their labs, and he had been having such severe joint pain, and he had actually been using a walker for a period of time because it hurt him so bad. He even said to me yesterday, when I was in the walker, I was on the floor like trying to crawl somewhere. And I'm going to be posting this picture this week. He sent me a picture, and he is kiteboarding, and he's jumping 4 feet in the air, right? He was in a walker, using a walker, and now he's back out kiteboarding, doing jumps. And he said, I don't have the pain. It's gone. He had been on my protocol for 2 weeks. That's all it took to support the body's innate healing. So the protocol is not doing the healing. Your body is doing the healing. The protocol is just supporting your body so it has what it needs to take over. And then after you're done healing, like I said, you maintain with your diet. So this whole, oh, you're old, you're a 68-year-old man, you've worked hard your whole life, your joints just can't be better. sorry, that's crap.
Good
And
for
it
you.
makes me mad that people say stuff because people live in pain when they don't have to.
Right. Yeah. Wow. That is so true. Well, I am just thrilled that you were able to come on today and share this information with everybody. Lee, thanks for popping in with all your comments. I'm sorry it's kind of hard to talk and moderate and read all the comments, but I appreciate it. Sounds like you're definitely on board with what Julie's saying. So I'm going to put your information, the Better Than Health website and all that here in this. And I hope anybody who's interested will contact you. I so appreciate you sharing your information with us. I think, maybe we are going to change the world, Julie. I mean, between going out there and touting that, sugar is not good for you and alcohol, we don't have to drink to be
Yeah.
happy and social. I mean, maybe we
Yep.
can, right?
One person at a time. We might not be able to change the world, but we can change our circle of influence, and that can just grow.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, thank you so much for joining. Everybody,
Thank
thanks
you
for
for having me.
and give Julie a call or message her and let her know that you enjoyed what she said today.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.